I don't like rentals. I don't care what you say. If rentals works for you, good for you. For me, at one point, I owned a lot of rentals and the numbers never worked out for the long terms. Maybe 1 year I was cash flow positive, but then there was like big ticket item like a roof or furnace that killed the cash flow for 2 to 3 years to come. So for me, rentals never worked out. And I'm gonna share with you in this video series the few things why I don't like rentals. And let's start with the first video, tenants. My name is Haim Aman Palman. I've been a full-time real estate investor for over 10 years. I've done flipping, wholesaling, purchase rentals, and BRR models. And nowadays, I mainly do private money lender. So without further ado, let's jump in and I will show you why I don't like rentals. Here's a scenario that actually happened to me in one of my rentals in Memphis. These rentals here, it's rented for $12.50 per month. And I'm going to show you why 10% to put on the spreadsheet for vacancy is BS. So here's a property. In most states, it takes at least 2 months to get a tenant out of the property legally. So if this property is rented for $12.50 per month, it takes them 2 months to get them out of legally. That means the $2,500 gun that we're not going to see any income. Now, you need to pay an attorney. At least $500 is 2 hours of his worth of his time to get the tenant out of the property and put the stuff on the curbside and to get them out of the property. That's another $500 and we're already at $3,000 for the year. Now, if you think this tenant will leave the property in perfect condition and that the deposit that they have will cover the repairs to get the property rent ready, you are wrong. It never happens. It never happens. It usually takes at least $3,000, usually closer to $5,000 from my experience. That's just this alone worth 1 year full of cash flow. That will take 2 weeks at least, and it will take another month to place the tenant in. They need to clean the property, renovate the property, list it on Zillow, on Redfin, on Craigslist, wherever. That's another month that the property will sit vacant. That's another $1,250. We're already at $3,000 plus 3, that's 6 plus $1,250. We're already $700 to $250. Now, the property management company usually takes full month of the first rent. Sometimes is half a month, sometimes is full month, but that will be another month of rent that you're not gonna see. That adds up to $8,500 when a tenant stop paying, and if you own rentals, you know it's gonna happen at one point or another. That's at least 4 years of cash flow. 4 years of cash flow because of one tenant that stopped paying. So when you put 10% as vacancy on your spreadsheet, that's bullshit. So that's video number 1, why I hate rentals. So you're probably asking, what's the alternative? So I don't know what's best for you. All I can do is share what's been working for me. And for me, when I look at an investment, I'm looking at 3 things. I'm looking at return on my money, I'm looking at return on my time, and I'm looking return on emotion. What's the debt drama? Because I don't want to get to too much drama, calls from property managers, from tenants, from contractors. I don't like it. So for me, what's been working for me, it's private money lending. With private money lending, compared to rentals, it's much, much easier. It's easier to find borrowers that are solid, that have a proven track record, experience, and they know what they're doing, as opposed to relying on tenants, property managers, and contractors. Let the borrowers deal with the contractors. That's what they're good at. They're good at buying rentals. I'm not. And I don't want to deal with all the headaches that comes with dealing with property management and contractors. So number 2 is the return on my money. I've seen 15% return on my money when I charge points, when I collect the points at closing, meaning that on day 1, I'm making more money compared to a full year of cash flow. So that's much better for me. And I charge 12 to 13% with interest, and I get fixed monthly payments regardless if the property is vacant or not, if the tenant paid the rent or not, if the property management decides to charge 50% on every repair call of the tenant. For me, It works better, more consistent, more predictable. And lastly is the return on emotion. Once I fund the deal, I deal with the investor, with the boards. He send me updates on progression of the rehab because I need to know what's going on. And then I will release funds for the rehab. It's just easier process. I'm not saying that everything is rainbows and sunshine with the investors. I've had situation where the investor stopped paying and I need to deal with foreclosures and things like that. But when I compared it to rentals, to private money lending, it's a different world, a much better return on my money, less headaches, and less drama, and better cash flow. So that's the winner for me. I made a transition because all the money that I made from wholesaling and flips, I put it in two baskets, either buying rentals or doing private money loans. And the more I did the two, the private money loans worked much, much better compared to the rentals. And I decided to go full on the private money side. So if you want to learn more about the process that I developed, because I learned a lot through the process, I've made over 200 loans. I've done my mistakes, so you can learn from my mistakes. I developed a process that makes sense for me right now, because the key is to minimize the risk when you think like a lender, protect your funds, protect the downside. And once you do that, you can increase the return on investment and life much easier for me. I spend more time with my son, with my family, and I don't need to take phone calls in the middle of the night or deal with property managers or tenants. So if you want to learn more, click down in the link below. There is a link to my Skool community. And if you want to learn more about private money lending, you should watch this video.